And of course, we have Mrs. Vanessa White-Brown, the president of the Green Acres Citizens Association. Good afternoon. How are you today?
Good afternoon and well, thank you.
I'm sure I'm wishing you good afternoon, but I'm surprised you didn't ask me what is good about this afternoon where you live.
Well, the thing is, I'm not in that location at this time, but yes, I do. I'm very conscious that many of my neighbors
So
are really
you're
not
not in
very
the
comfortable
location
right
now.
now.
You might have to
No, not right
consider
now. Not
sleeping.
likely,
Based on the condition, you might have to consider sleeping where you are.
apparently.
My God. Give us a
Yeah,
background.
it's
We're
all good.
talking to the president of the Green Acres Citizens Association. It's great to have you. How you doing?
Thank you.
Really glad to have you.
We're
And
good. Thanks.
let me commend you for standing up because too often Jamaicans right across the island, I contend that they're fast asleep. They think they are
True.
powerless and they think they have no power. Absolute nonsense. We have
That's
power,
true. And
and
this,
if we, yes, go
yeah.
ahead.
Yes, but also you have to recognize that sometimes we kind of get into a comatose state where, you have a situation that happens periodically and then it stops and then you just think that okay, the representation that we asked for from the powers that be, that has worked. So we get comfortable and then out of the blue it starts again. So some people kind of just get frustrated and say, we've been here before. These are issues that at least all the administrations over the years of the Green Acres Citizens Association that I can remember, they've made some representation to the two um, owners of the burial grounds that sandwich our community, and
But
some
hold
people
on.
are just like,
You
yes,
should be making representation to them. You're wasting your time. We have state agencies,
well,
we have NEPA, we have the parish council. They are there to do their work.
sure,
Right. So you have the organization because there are many persons or organizations, and I am quite aware I've had to deal with them. They think because they have money, they do what they want to do. There was one gentleman, I hope he's listening, who decided to put a car park somewhere right next to a residential area and organize a demonstration. I've been doing this for a long time, And it was in the papers, big thing in the papers and everything. And I wrote to KSAC and they put a stop on it. And he called me. Now, many Jamaicans will be scared because, you talk to a man who is a big man, they call him big man, bigger than me, born, me
yeah,
bad. He got dead,
yeah.
me I got dead. So he said to me, Mr. Darby, you seem to have a lot of influence. I simply responded, more influence than the money that you have. So I'm
Oh
saying
dear.
to people, the greatest power in the world, not money power, is people power. People
Right.
need to come together and fight together. Now, give us a
Yeah.
background now as the problems they are facing there in Green Acres.
All right. So in terms of the Dovecot situation, um, over the years, we have a crematorium by Dovecot where in the past we've had situations where many of our residents have complained about the odor coming from the burning bodies there. And up to last year, that was a situation where, we were making a lot of representations to our MP, who is also the Minister of Health and Wellness, and also the parish council through our councillor, Mr. Alfonso Johnson. And we got some action in terms of there was a stay on Dovecot, so they had to cease from burning bodies for a while. But we also got some commitments from them that this is something that they were they were going to act on. They were going to stop operations. They were going to move the crematorium to another area.
No, but you see, you can't depend
South.
on them. What are the state
Hold
agencies
on, you
saying?
asked me for the backgrounds. I tell you.
No, man, not to know. I may
So
interrupt you. Hold on. Me interject and
yeah,
you know what, you keep on talking. No, that's my style.
all right, that's yeah. So so all of that came to a halt, and we were comfortable to hear from the representatives there
Too comfortable.
that they were going to. Oh yeah, then that is the thing. When we Jamaicans can be trusted, but we for a little while there was no problem, and we were told that they had stopped operations even after the cease and desist. I think they had resumed after, but they had done some maintenance work on the equipment, and so for some time, I wasn't getting any complaints. But then back in October and then again more recently in February, we got more complaints again about this the same odor occurring in the night. So we reached out to the management and we were told that they do not operate after 3 p.m. So we said,
Oh,
okay,
so
maybe
hold
this is
on, hold
something.
on. So they don't operate until after 3 p.m. Oh,
No, man, they don't operate after, so it will be in the morning until 3 p.m.
so let me
So,
ask you a
so the
question now.
complaint. Sorry.
So because they don't operate at certain time, your nose and your eating don't operate at that time either.
Well, that is the thing. So, I mean, smoke is something that leaves residue in the atmosphere. So we also reached out through our counselor. We reached out to the inspector, health inspector,
What's the name
who
of your
is affiliated
counselor? Let,
with
let
the.
me hear his name. What's the name of
Oh,
your
that's
counselor?
Mr. Alfonso Johnson. He's our counselor.
I wonder if he
So
spoke to the mayor about it.
well, I don't know about that part of it, but I know he reached out to the public health inspector because they came into the area and were doing some investigations. And we were told that the situation, based on what Dovecot was telling us, that the smoke must be coming from some other activity in the community. So, we were asking around and asking our neighbors who live in
Yes.
that area if they can tell us, because we've gotten complaints about maybe a coal burning operation and also about some of the neighbors who burn. So again, we did our investigations on those. I know at least one of the cases, you know, those operations seem to have died down.
So let me
We
ask you
still
something.
get
You work for the
the
parish
recurring
council.
complaints are there.
So hold on. You work for the parish council municipality.
Exactly, I don't.
So you have to be doing your
Right now, I'm on my job.
investigation.
No, they're doing the investigation, but they're not reporting to us, and that's the concern we also have. That when these things are ongoing, we need to hear back something, right? But up to this morning, I've been getting complaints about the odor and the stench and people's sinuses being inflamed, right? So all of those doctor bills and stuff, I mean, is like a repeat of what was happening in the past,
Well, look like you guys
and
have
I'm
money to
just not
spend.
getting any action. So
Because you
that's
have
why
money
we
to
reach out
spend.
to people like you. Oh,
Well, you know what? You know, so I'm
not that,
terrible and I'm awful when it comes to that. I will
no,
tell
that's
you.
fine. That's fine. I can be terrible sometimes,
Well,
but
all
we
you need to
understand.
come together and be terrible because it cannot continue. I must tell you,
Well, that's it.
I heard from
Yes,
the minister this morning, and he said he's going to
good.
follow up with NEPA. Mayor Scott said he was not aware, so I want to find out. But I ask, I will ask the question
Sure.
rhetorically. So I would want
Uh-huh.
to know that councillor spoke to the mayor about the matter. They're busy
Good
arguing and
question.
quarreling in the council over absolute rubbish. This is a matter that should be brought up in the council. They get
Mhm.
increased pay recently. So, Mr. Scott and councillors out there, the people have a challenge. You need to deal with it and fix
Yeah,
it.
and quickly,
And quickly
quickly too.
too.
We
But
have
then
children and their parents being negatively affected. I mean, these are persons who are productive citizens in our country. One, we don't want to lose them from our community, but
yes.
also we don't want to lose them from the country just because something like this. I mean, we're losing too much of our productive people because our state agencies are not proactive enough in handling these affairs.
What you need to do, all right,
People
is
invest in their
NEPA
property. We shouldn't be fighting so hard.
are not structured to buy no property that is going to cause the value to go down. Now, what you're going to do work with me as of now, if they
Yeah.
don't work, we are going to ask for the head of NEPA. We're going to blast out. And you send me those releases. I will work with you. And don't forget the election is coming up. So while they campaign
Appreciate
as
it.
to good they are doing, we can also campaign about what they are not doing. And we see if they won't listen. And we'll make sure
Appreciate
that
it.
our voices are heard. It is time
Right.
that persons who do not perform, and I must tell you, I'm quite aware of what is happening, that they pack their bags and go home. Look how many years people have been complaining about how our streets are being maintained. It's a joke. And just
Yeah.
last Friday when I went out there to take some pictures, man, look, you can't take me picture, you can't take me picture. I said, really, stop me. Um, Imagine you're doing
Oh,
government
you
work.
saw my road, you saw our roads too.
No, I need some pictures on that too. You need to do that.
All right. So we get
Mhm.
them. We get them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but the other concern we have is a dust nuisance that's coming from especially Meadow Rest now. You see, they were doing some work very
Yes.
close to the boundary with the Green Acres, because they're right at the northwest boundary of the community. And those residents, I mean, again, the complaints have started recently about the digging and the rust nuisance that's affecting them.
Mhm.
In the past, the representation had asked for some trees to be planted along the perimeter,
I tell you
both
what that.
the
All
boat,
right, well, let's go back to that. We're going to take a
sure.
short break. And we'll go back
All
to
right,
that dust
sure.
nuisance because I just got a
I
report
appreciate
from there a few minutes ago about the dust nuisance. You're listening
it.
to Spot On. I'm going to take a short break and come back. Of course, we're talking about the horrible situation. Can you imagine? There are apparently cremating bodies nearby, and you're eating your breakfast or your dinner, and you're smelling that. Can you imagine? You might not live in the area, but other people do. We have to think of them too. You're listening to Spot On with Vernon Darby coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. And we're talking about the horrible situation, terrible situation that the residents of Green Acres have to contend with. And we have online the Mrs. Vanessa White Barrow. And she's telling us, can you imagine you're having your breakfast and you're going to smell burning flesh? Can you imagine you have a child or an adult that's suffering from asthma? You have that smoke to contend with. You have the dust to contend with. Who pays for your medical expenses? This is untenable. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you.
You're speaking about the
Right. So,
dust nuisance, yes.
yes. Right. So that again is a situation that has reoccurred within recent times. So we have the residents who live towards the northwest side of the community who are being affected on on an ongoing basis by this dust nuisance. Again, pictures are being posted and we get incensed, but you know we also know that we've had these discussions in the past,
Mm.
and the concerns we especially have now is that we had asked for um some trees to be planted to separate the two sides of the boundary, Meadows and Green Acres,
Yes,
to one to keep back the dust, but also many of our residents, yes, they invested in this piece of land, but not to be looking into, a burial ground. So that is one of the reasons that in the past, our executive had been advocating for the planting of these trees, but to date, none of that has happened. And it's almost like if you're standing close to those boundaries, you're looking straight into burial property of both Dovecot on one side, especially on the west, and
yes.
then the northwest, you have Meadow, right?
But you know what it
So this
says,
is
man?
another area.
People, if we had class, you see, like many of us were brought up to love nature and so on. And if you go to other countries and they have a burial ground, a cemetery as it is called, they'd have
Yes,
trees
that's the
planted,
word I've been
so you can't even see anything. The trees, and if there's
right.
dust, the trees would keep it down. But I'm telling you, we don't seem to have any class. And the more money we have in this country, is the less class we have, man.
Yeah, unfortunately. And sometimes I wonder, I think it's added to the lack of class is also the lack of respect for
Respect
neighbors.
and love for one another.
You know,
Absolutely
if we
right.
had that, I'm sure, just think about maybe if these persons were thinking about themselves. I mean, they might be thinking, and we've heard it. So if you can't stand it, sell your property and move. But
But
it
hold
can't be
on.
like that.
So that
It
country,
cannot be like
Jamaica
that.
only belong to them? Really?
Well, that's the thing. You
And
know,
by the
so
way,
that's what we're really
we
hoping
need
that
to
we can
speak
get
to
some
our
action.
leaders also, because you guys out there are nice and of class and you're tush folks. Any day you go out there on Black Road and Buntai, then you're going to see MPs and councillors and everybody, and the cameras will be there. And they will
Yes,
complain about that kind of behavior. The news media or political
right.
representatives, they encourage it. Here you going
Yes,
through it the right way and you are being ignored.
yes, and that's why we're upset about it
No,
because
you must
we
get
really
upset.
want to see the
No, you
action,
must do what
but we
needs to be done. Are you doing it
don't
right
to
now?
burn down. No, but it costs the country, you know.
Well,
I
guess
mean,
what?
yeah,
The next
but
time
I
must
know,
cost
but you
them
get the response. Yeah, I know you get the
amazing.
response, but it costs us, you
Well,
know. So as you're saying, though, we're trying to do the right thing and we want to continue to do the right thing.
yes.
So we don't want to take it to the next extreme. So we're really hoping that we can get some
No,
action.
you must use such word as hope. It must happen. And our countries, the leaders must plan properly. If you're going to have a country, you must know where you put this, where you put that. If you have a residential area, then you can't put certain things right next to it. And if you're going to have burning there, burning has implication for the atmosphere and the environment. What do we do? It
Yeah.
don't make sense to put out advertisement and chat, and yet we are not seeing to it that these things happen. And I'm sure the technology exists where you can probably have cremation, because I believe in
Yeah,
cremation. I don't believe in taking up all that land space to just bury people. And if you have cremation, I'm sure you have a technology where the smoke can be so treated and what have you, neither see it nor smell it. But who cares?
right. And that's what we thought was going to be happening last year. Early last year when we were having those issues. And
Yes.
you know, the government had put in the minister had put in the cease and desist order and they had stopped their operations and then you know they were doing the maintenance and the repairs. I mean, when we heard that they weren't going to move again, we said, okay, then maybe this maintenance would reflect the kind of technology that you know we know exists in not just developed countries but other developing countries where people can live harmoniously, have their dead buried, and we don't have these complaints.
All
You
right,
know,
here what now?
so
Vernon,
we want to see some action.
you need
Hopefully,
to understand what they think. All right, Vernon Darby is in charge now.
all
Miserable,
right.
miserable people. Them idiot, but then turn then go on to minister. After that, we just go along the way. Them idiot. That's how they think.
Mm.
After 9 days, you'll forget about it. You need to stand up and fight and make them have to probably move the operations. And that's not problem. They need to move that operation. And you need to
That's
after
where we
well,
are right now.
yes, and
Yes.
have to move it. And the next step I'm going to do, I'm going to forward that report to the Prime Minister. And Mr. Prime Minister, you need to start to speak on these issues. You can't have a country with a dictator turn Prime Minister, they run it how they want. It can't work, so Mr. Prime Minister. You are in charge. You have a civil service to back you up. And if they're not performing, let them go. Many of them need to pack their bags and go. You should have to be complaining. You have to be coming on radio. You have to be writing. There are public servants who are well paid. Mr. Knight from NEPA, don't let me forget your case, sir. All right? I've sent you a message. You have not responded. At least I've heard from the mayor already and Mr. Tufton. I need to hear from you too, sir. All right? Any final point? Yes, you got me so involved. You think I believe out there.
No, man, I'm really grateful to you. Our community is grateful to you
Yeah.
for your support. And you know, we've been trying, but as you recognize, we're trying to do it the nice, calm, quiet way.
No, you
And
can't.
you know,
You're
we're
going to
trying
stick
to
with me and we're going to
exhaust
fight.
all the options. Yes. So
Stick with me,
we're
we're going to
trying
fight.
to exhaust all our options
Mm-hmm.
so that, you know, we don't delay other people by blocking roads and you know, but if it comes to that, we have to
You don't
represent
have to
each
block
other
the
and
road. You
support
just
each
have
other.
to march, with your march, because there's so many of you marching. It's very difficult to traverse that area.
Yeah, but you see, it takes time from your busy job, and that is another drama, you know.
Oh, the next drama
But
is
it
that you
is
get sick and you'll be home for two,
all
3
that
weeks.
too,
All right.
exactly. And you
Anyway,
know,
you
you
take
have
it.
so much funerals. Yes, true. Thanks
All
for
right.
those reminders.
Thank you very much. Any final point
Thank
you want to
you,
make
Mr.
on the
Darby.
trouble, Any final point?
Oh well, just looking for action now.
Yeah.
Obviously the powers that be have been made aware, and they know that we need some action
And
now.
the
Strong
councillor don't
action.
know. Mayor Scott
We
knows,
can't have yes,
right? Mr. Tufton knows, and the next person I'll be
right.
advising is the Prime Minister. But poor Prime Minister, he probably do too much things. The leader of the
Well,
opposition to need to let you. No, he would have been informed also, the leader of the opposition.
is the work, right? So I
Have a
want to get
wonderful
that
day.
done. Thank you.
And make sure all those
Blessings.
people who sit down and wait for you get up off of there, you know what, and act
Yeah,
and
that's what
demand
we're
action.
hoping to, we really
Yes,
want the community to stand united. Yes, their
yes.
parts is a big community, and some parts of the community will tell you they're not affected, you know, but
Really?
we live together and,
All in is one
as
country.
neighbors,
I have to go around now.
exactly.
Remember, this is just a
Thank you.
radio program. Action continues, so you
Thanks
keep
again.
in touch. Have a
All right,
wonderful
let's leave
day.
that one.
Yeah, we were
Blessings.
talking to the president of the Citizens Association there at Green Acres, Vanessa White Barrow. Bark the Truth YouTube channel and Bark the Truth blog is used to help people in Jamaica and overseas. I need your support. Go to the blog site at www.vderby.blogspot.com and you will find the PayPal link for making your contributions. For direct bank transfer information, send a WhatsApp message to 876 816 5261.